It's only.
I feel like they.
Why you have to be mad?
Sorry, what was that?
Is he in Nashville? am, am I close geographically?
They've
The
been cooking it
contracts.
up.
The contracts are coming in.
No one knows what he is. He's a big orange monster
Let's
with
see.
googly eyes.
He's
and
a gritty.
Okay.
Little.
The Florida lead.
What do you think of Owen's bracket? Do you remember it?
It's hopeful.
Okay, welcome back. Episode 41, Bread Loves Hockey Podcast. Just the two of the usuals today. We've got some updates for the playoffs, of course. Round 1 has concluded. Half of us are happy about that.
Yay.
Round 2 is already underway. Obviously, I'm wearing Bruins today for their Game 7 victory. I was actually in Boston during the Game 7. I didn't go to the game. Kind of bummed that I wasn't able to make that work, given the outcome. But I was cheering them on at my brother's apartment, and when Pasta scored, I literally popped out of my chair and I was like, "He scores! Let's go!" And that was and it was literally just me and my brother watching there. So it was he's not even really that into hockey. He was he still thought it was funny because he knows a little bit of the history with the Leafs. But it was a good time, and then I'm glad it was early into the overtime so I could go to bed.
Well, it was a Saturday night. You could have stayed up.
Well, I had to get up at 6:30 that morning to
right.
get over there, so I was actually pretty beat. I was if it goes into second overtime, I think I'm really gonna be screwed. If it went the distance in the first OT, I would have probably been okay, but I don't know if.
Well, do you think did you already have a plan? Were you locked in either way? Like I'm sticking through this no matter what.
I think I would have found a way to stay up, or at least I would have been nodding off on the couch, in and out, until I heard people cheering. Probably.
I mean, there's just so much meme potential. Either the Maple Leafs losing Game 7 to the Bruins again, or the Bruins, which they put on the graphic 500 times that game, would choke a 3-1 lead 2 years in a row for the first time in North American professional sports history.
Yeah. So they
Let's
avoided
do
that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would have been tough to doze off during that for sure.
Yeah. Well, intermission is a quick 20-minute cat nap.
Yeah, I have done that for some Vegas games. Actually, I did that at least for one game this year where I'm you know what? I'll just go to sleep, set a 17-minute timer, and wake back up for the next period. It was it wasn't the best, but it kind of worked.
I remember doing that during the preseason Bruins game in China.
China.
3 a.m. start time. And I took a quick nap. Felt great after that. Like I said, 17, 18 minutes, and then just right back at it.
I remember you watching that game. I was like, oh my god, I forgot Dean's watching the game in China. That, yeah.
Yeah, we came back from the bars or whatever. He's like, all right, time to watch some hockey.
That was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, the Bruins win that one in Game 7, and win the first game against the Panthers, which no one expected. But I'm just watching this series. I have no expectations, no stress. I'm just enjoy. I'm we didn't blow a 3-1 lead in round 1. We're here. We're expected to lose, so no pressure. And I'm we're just playing more hockey. I'm just excited to watch, and so far so good. 5-1 win in the first game, which is also the same score as the first game in round 1 against Toronto was a 5-1 win, and Carlos scored in both of those.
Oh.
Sounds like he also scored one each.
Sounds like Game 7 overtime is afoot.
Yeah. I hope not.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's a whole like argument about rest versus rust, right? Where like Boston played less than 48 hours after their Game 7 overtime game, um, and Florida had like almost a week off. So we'll see what happens with Game 2, which is tomorrow night from when we're recording. But yeah, like I said, I mean, I'm just happy to watch more Bruins hockey. Like I expect them to not come out round two. If they do, it's a plus.
Right.
But that's where
Yeah,
we're
I
at.
was I was watching and I was like, oh man, so Dean, like I was watching game one. I'm like, so Dean's just like happy right now. Like he's like coasting in now. He's like, all right,
Hmm.
like either way, I'm good. I mean, obviously you're gonna be still up, disappointed if they do lose, but like
Sure.
you're sitting pretty good. So yeah, that's a nice feeling. Um, yeah, they win game one pretty handedly. Yeah, you said Carlo had the goal there after his son Crew was born like the previous night, or was it the same
It was
day?
that morning. He
Yeah,
had a quote. It was like I saw on Twitter. He was like, "We were like flipping my wife upside down and like
yeah, yeah,
whatever, trying to get the baby out."
yeah. Like, come on,
And
come
yeah,
on.
he took a flight. He showed up at 6 p.m. Eastern time for the 8 p.m. starting game and played the game, scored a goal, and bar down.
Big
And
dad energy,
yeah, Lori also went bar down with an incredible goal. It was
dude.
also he could have so like Pasta was backdoor pretty open. He's like, nah, I'm just gonna shoot this.
Yeah, well,
Which is
that's
insane,
crazy.
but it worked. And yeah, like he is playing with so much confidence. And like it kind of reminds me of McAvoy where we had him start like I think his first NHL games were in the playoffs. But that was kind of like his coming out party
Oh
for
yeah,
McAvoy was the playoffs however many years ago.
a little trial
I
by
mean,
fire.
yeah, I'm not saying Lorai's the next McAvoy, but I think offensively he's probably better than McAvoy. Defensively, probably not,
Probably
but
not.
he's looking really good and that's good to see. Rookies are stepping up. Prezzo scored a goal in that game.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
exciting stuff.
this is like all of like the things that you want to see from like this group. Like the depth, it was all depth scoring pretty much in game one. I wouldn't
Yeah.
consider Jake DeBrusk a depth scorer, but that was an empty netter.
Right.
Um,
Geeky had one.
yeah. So you like to see that, you like the rookies taking a step too, and obviously the offense, in this game, four goals on a goalie versus them scoring like two or three in the last like handful of games in the Boston or the Toronto series. So it's like good to see that like their offense like immediately had a big impact,
Yeah, and
and
that
then
was a
of
big
course Swayman was still
discussion.
good.
Yeah. Swayman's been incredible. He had a 974, 976, something like that.
He was like, yeah,
Um,
38
he
for
allowed one
39.
goal on 39 shots. So, yeah, Swayman playing well. Like, we need to have an insane goalie like save percentage to win this series probably. And
Yeah.
like the only way we win is goalieing the other team at this point. But I mean, going into this series, it was like we were low scoring against Toronto, and it's like, well, Florida's even more like stout defensively. So if we only score two or three against Toronto, we're not going to score anything against Florida. But yeah, putting up five in the first game definitely gives you some confidence. But again, it goes back to like maybe they were rusty, but I think watching that game, it seemed like both teams were playing like very well, like their style of hockey, and I don't know. Obviously I'm excited. We'll see. Again, like I think the old like I was like I don't want to get swept, and I don't want to blow a 3 or 2 game series lead.
Yep.
So if neither of those happen, whatever happens, happens. If we get outplayed by Florida, we get outplayed by Florida. Like they're expected to win,
Right.
and they're a really good team. Like they beat Tampa in 5. So
Yeah. Which is kind of how I feel about the conclusion to the Vegas series. We'll hold off for that if you have anything else about the Boston series, you really
Yeah,
want
I
to
mean, we can hop over
highlight.
to that. I mean,
Um,
like I said, I'm happy with whatever happens with Boston at this point.
yeah,
But yeah, like Vegas playing Dallas, that could have been like a conference final matchup or a Stanley Cup. Well, it couldn't have been a Stanley Cup, but like they were both really good
cup
teams.
caliber teams. Yeah.
Yeah, and now Dallas has to play another Cup caliber team in the second round. But
Uh,
yeah, beating Vegas, Dallas became fan favorites to 30 other fans in the or team fans, if you want to put it that way, in the league. Like everyone
right.
was seemed to be rooting against Vegas after all the LTIR. I don't want to say shenanigans, but
Yeah. Well, yeah.
whatever you want to call it.
That's
It
probably
seemed like everyone was rooting for Dallas in
the
that
nicer
round.
way to put it. Yeah, they definitely were. Um, yeah, I was like interacting with somebody I went to high school with on Twitter a little bit about the outcome of the game. He was like said there was like an all time choke by Vegas, which I was kind of like I didn't really feel that way. I wasn't able to watch Game 7 because I was still in in Boston, and I was literally on a like boat during the pretty much the entirety of the game. So we were like driving back to my brother's apartment to try to hopefully finish up the game, and I was like following the scores on my phone, and before we even got there, the game was over. So I was like, oh, that's really nice. Um, and like, it was obviously a close. It was a one goal game, so that was tough. Like, not knowing how they were actually playing, and if they actually like if I was watching, if I really did feel like they were gonna at least tie it up, because I had no way of knowing. Um, so that was a bummer, but yeah, overall, like the series was very close. All of the games were within like a 2 goal margin. I think game one there was an empty netter, uh, and then you had the overtime goal game in game five. So it was a really tight fought series. I think a lot of people expected Dallas to still come out, just because they were the higher seeded team, and yeah, there was uncertainty with how the healthy lineup was going to play together for the first time, but I thought they developed pretty good chemistry overall, but they you know just came up short.
Do you think Mark Stone was 100% for this series?
No, no, unlikely. Especially in Game 7, I did see that he got hit and he was kind of like gasping, or like he was definitely hurt, and I think he still ended up continuing to play, but and I don't know if we'll see if any. I haven't seen anything more on it since they've been eliminated as far as any specifics on what the injury was there. I mean, if it was just like an exacerbation of his condition that he had to get the surgery for, but or not. Or he
You're
didn't have
telling me
surgery,
he
but
didn't take a spleen injury?
yeah, he was definitely hurt at some point for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
I think Jeff Merrick was saying this on the 32 Thoughts podcast that like it's tough to tell with Mark Stone, like if he was 100%, just because the way he plays, like he doesn't play based off speed, like he plays based off like IQ and being in the right position and like kind of playing the body. So it's
mhm.
like it's tough to tell exactly if he was 100%. But Merrick said he didn't think he looked fully healthy. But again, it's hard to tell with a player that plays that style of hockey.
Yeah, yeah. So and there were definitely other guys that were playing through injuries. Bruce Cassidy said something like that, but pretty much all of
It's playoff hockey.
like all of the teams are gonna have something like that. Cassidy did say they had 9 players who had surgery, or 9 surgeries, maybe not 9 players, but 9 surgeries through for the season, which I guess I don't really know what to compare that to, like what an average number is, but
Yeah, I have no idea.
not I would say that because he highlighted it, that 9 is probably high.
I mean, sounds like a lot.
It does seem like a lot.
Well, I mean, even like some players will get like 2 surgeries in the off season.
Right.
But yeah, yeah, like I said, nine seems like many surgeries.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So, yeah, that's a bummer. But again, it just wasn't their year this year. In my like official bracket, I did have Dallas winning. I probably would have put it in 7 if I was able to make that choice. Um, Logan Thompson was great. I saw and Hill played like in the series too. He played the last 3 games, I believe. So like both of them, I thought actually had pretty solid performances. And it just came down to the offense that was just like just a step behind at times. They do lose after the 2-0 series lead. They lost the next 3, and then they forced the game 7. And I thought that was maybe one of their best games in the season. Game 6. So
Game 6.
yeah, like so I felt Gifford and I were both like feeling not too bad going in. Like we knew it was going to be a battle. Obviously, any game 7 is going to be, but I I thought that they could do it. They won those first 2 games on the road too, so it's not like they were having difficulty winning in that building. Would have been nice, obviously,
sure
if it was on the road, if it was at home. But yeah, even Mark Stone was like, yeah, we would have been better off if we did a little bit better in the regular season and didn't squeak into the playoffs and force ourselves into playing Dallas. So yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and people were like kind of criticizing that, where he's like, yeah, if only the people that like I didn't have anything to do with it, but like the rest of the team could have just been better in the
Yeah,
regular
there's
season.
I mean, yeah, there's definitely an element to that because he was injured. Like,
Yeah.
what do you
But
mean?
at the same time, it's like you're gonna have to
He's the
beat
captain.
all the teams, no matter how hard the path is. If you want to win the cup, like you have to beat all the best teams. So
Yep.
one way or the other, like you're gonna go through the gauntlet. So if you can't beat Dallas, you're not gonna win the cup.
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely truth to that. Like, if you didn't play him in the first round, you were probably playing him in the second round. Like, yeah. And if you don't, you're playing the team that beat them, so they must be pretty damn good too. Yeah.
Mhm.
There's no easy opponents in the playoffs really, for the most part. Obviously, maybe one team
Well,
this year.
who could that be?
I don't know. Um,
We should ask Sam.
yeah, well, maybe he knows. He's smart. He's he's smart.
Well, so how do you feel after coming off a cup win, losing in the first round? Like, are you like, yeah, it's okay, we won the cup last year. Like, what are you gonna do? Or
Yep.
like, I mean, or did you have higher expectations, or like,
No,
where are you
I
at?
didn't. I didn't really did I think that they had a legitimate shot to not only beat Dallas but win the cup? Yeah, I did. I did think that they like could find a way in the playoffs to like fix a lot of the things that were struggling them or causing them to struggle in the regular season. I thought they had the roster, the depth to do it. But I wasn't that surprised, I guess, with the outcome. I was obviously disappointed, but Dallas is a great team. They're going to be a great team for a while. They're rookies. Their young guys were the ones that stepped up. Um,
Wyatt Johnson.
yeah, he had a great series as a rookie. Robertson also performed. He's not quite as young, but he's still pretty young. Um, Ottinger was still pretty good, and they had contributions from some of the pieces they acquired recently. Like Dodonov had a freaking great series. I was like, man, this guy really hates us after the way we tried to dump him to Anaheim, and then we had to continue having him on our roster for the rest of the season. And Tanev was a big contributor in both facets of the game. So that was a great pickup for them. I remember being disappointed at the time that he didn't go to an Eastern team. I was like, yeah, that's not going to be good for us.
And you also said like you were just less confident in this team, like you weren't sure if they were going to win the round or
Yeah,
as opposed to like last year, like when they won the cup, you're like, yeah, I think we can win all these games or
yeah,
series.
I definitely I wasn't as confident as I was last year, but there was still a part of me that thought that they could do it. Like I feel like at least for other teams, I don't know if I've ever really felt that way about Vegas going in like to the first round. Like I immediately thought that they weren't good enough to like make a deep push. But like for other teams, I've definitely felt that way. Like there just doesn't seem to be a path forward where they can, win the cup this year. So somewhere in between. Now they got a big off season ahead of them too.
Since the last time we recorded was last Tuesday, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think we talked about the final game of Edmonton
No.
beating the Kings.
Yeah, it was going on and it was almost over.
Yeah.
But the
So,
Kings fall in Game 5.
And that's not too surprising to most people, probably.
No, not really. They continue to lose by in fewer games to Edmonton because they went to 7 2 years ago. They went in 6 last year, and now they lose to them in 5. So
Yep, 3 years in a row.
Yeah, so they'll probably get swept by them next year in the first round.
Well, they're probably going to make some changes, I'd imagine.
Hopefully.
Yeah. And then the other series was the Vancouver series. They won on Friday to win 4-2 against the Predators. Last game being 1-0. So they go into the second round starting Wednesday playing Edmonton. And I think Demko is out for like the season at this point, right?
I think they said at least the first 4 games of round 2. I think is the latest that was out for that. I don't know if DeSmith is going to be playing or if it's going to still be Shilov's for the time being. But I guess we'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah. I guess the other thing about the Kings, I don't know if you want to talk about it now, is the Pierre-Luc Dubois thing.
Yeah.
They're talking about, well,
After his
I don't know,
performance.
they as in media talking about potential buyouts, and there was like this like close call where like with his age, depending when the season ends, he'd either be 25 or 26, and that will change the buyout being 1/3 of his salary versus 2/3. But I think you said before we started recording that was it the coach or the GM that said that they're probably not going to buy him out?
Rob Blake, the GM.
Rob Blake. Which Rob Blake might be gone this offseason too.
Yeah, they already fired McClellan during the season, so I wouldn't be too surprised if Blake was gone. So it might not be up to him. I think the deciding factor for when the season ends was whenever, depending on how deep the final goes into June, because it'll be like right before his birthday. So it'll be interesting to see if they do end up exercising that option. Looking into it, they would be paying his money until 2038.
Which is insane.
Either way, it would just be, a different amount. It would be 1/3 versus 2/3. So, sounds like they're not exploring it according to Blake, but again, might not be his choice. And he's how young is Dubois? Like he's
He's
starting
25.
to.
He would turn 26, which is the cutoff
Okay,
or
yeah,
the change in
26.
the.
Yeah, so it's like if you really believe that the player that's still there can do it, and you just need to get maybe like the right coach and maybe the right like GM to put players around him.
I mean, this
You
is
go
his
for it.
third team, and I feel like every team has been like, yeah, I
That
don't know, like he just doesn't seem to be motivated, and like if you
exactly
get
that.
that over and over again, you start to question like
That's
if it's the
that's where
player or the
that's where it gets
team.
tricky
Yeah,
because it's like how many other teams and GMs have said this and how many coaches have already tried.
we can fix him.
Yes, exactly. So it's like, do you really want to keep that cap hit there? Like he's got what 10.2% of their cap until 2030 31. So it's like, is he going to be playing like an $8.5 million player for the next 7 seasons, or
Yeah,
is it probably just best to move on and hope to be competitive, within a couple of years? I don't know when the big break for the money comes if you do the buyout. It's probably not too soon. I think I
yeah,
saw
I have
that
no idea.
breakdown.
Well, seeing how Minnesota, their like break is just next year,
Mm-hmm.
probably like halfway through or something, so it's a long time.
Yeah, they must like that must be like part of the reason that they would also be the Kings would be thinking about not doing it. Like, what you're signing up for. I mean, it's not at the same level as it is for the or it was for the Wild, because they bought out two players with identical big money contracts like at the same time, so it was a lot bigger of a commitment. The implications here wouldn't be nearly as bad, and obviously, if they had the 1/3 option, um, which Minnesota did not have that luxury, it would be a different story there too. Oh, a little score update. The Rangers are playing game 2 right now against the Canes, and the Canes are up 2-1 in the first. Well, headed into the second period.
Um, I think we covered the rest of the round one matchups, right?
Did you have
And the other
any
one we just.
thoughts on the Predators Canucks series, just like how that one went and how it
I
ended?
mean, Canucks were the favorites. It became more interesting when the Canucks had their third string goalie.
Yeah,
Um, but I think the Canucks were meant to be the team to win. But even going into round two, they're kind of like also playing with house money. Like this whole season, they didn't expect to be this good.
right.
Um, so I think obviously they still hope to win, but if they're not getting Demko back, I can't see them beating Edmonton.
Right. Yeah, it was a close series, a really low scoring, low shot series, which, yeah, some people were saying was probably the most boring series, just based on that. Had had a couple games go in a row where there was no scoring until the third period. And yeah, it was kind of a heartbreaker in Game 6 there. Like, I was pushing for Nashville to make it to Game 7, and Vancouver scores late in the third to make it 1-0, and it was like such a backbreaker. Like, yeah, that I think there was like less than 2 minutes left too, so you're like suddenly you're in the mode of, oh crap, uh, we now have to score, otherwise the season's over. Like, just like that. Like, before it was like, all right, we might be heading to overtime, we can regroup. But yeah, all of a sudden, I mean, the goal is still the same, to score a goal. You were gonna try to do that either way, but now you only have potentially minute 50 to do it.
Yeah. I feel like the Boston Toronto series was also pretty boring for a non fan of either of those teams.
Yeah,
They were
it
also
was
low
it was
scoring.
pretty
And,
defensive, pretty low scoring,
yeah.
especially at the end, like the last couple of games.
So we talked about, well, we both think Edmonton pretty easy matchup against Vancouver. Well, we also said Demko won't come back until maybe Game 5, but even that would be pushing it.
Yeah,
So I think Edmonton has that series.
I think so too. And that's who I'm pushing for. So you know, we'll see if it's close. I'm surprised it's not starting until. Oh yeah, we mentioned it's not starting until today because of the Pearl Jam concerts.
Yeah, Pearl Jam is playing. Well, they played on the 4th and then the 6th. So that is why I think that's, well, the 7th is today. So I guess they could have started today, but I think there's already 2 games today, so they wanted to move it to Wednesday to make it 2-2.
Yeah,
Which I feel like the scheduling has actually been pretty good for the playoffs.
for the most part, I've been satisfied with it.
Yeah, Vancouver. I don't know if I mentioned this on the pod or not, but like didn't expect to make the playoffs. They scheduled concerts and stuff like in this month and the next month, so they're working around
Oopsies.
that. Oops.
Like, yeah, oh, we didn't know you guys played in May. Like, is that even
Yeah,
an
is that
option?
new? Yeah.
Like, ooh.
So what do you have for the Colorado Dallas series? I think that'll be a good matchup.
Um, I,
Well,
it's
I think you
so
have to go
tough.
with Dallas because that was your pick, right?
I know, like, I do kind of feel like Colorado will win, and I am gonna be upset about it, but I will be rooting for Dallas for sure.
I feel like both teams have questions in the goaltending department. Like if Anger can keep playing well, and I mean we saw with Colorado, like game 1 was questionable goaltending, and then they ended up like solidifying that. But uh, like I don't know. But Colorado looked really good in round 1. Obviously, scoring 7 goals in a playoff game and 6 and 5 and all those high numbers every game. Like if you can keep doing that,
Yeah,
it's hard to lose, even if you have mediocre goaltending.
yeah, that's really the whole thing with at least the start of the series will be if Colorado can continue to score at the same clip that they were against Winnipeg. Because if they can like get through the Dallas defense, which I mean, I already thought that the Winnipeg defense was pretty sound, but clearly they had some lapses. And so we'll see if like the system that DeBoer has is better suited to play against Bednar's Avs. Um, and yeah, obviously the goaltenders matchup is going to be huge. We'll see how Ottinger does, and they do have the Stars do have the home field advantage, so that's a big factor too.
Yeah, I'm picking the Stars as well, but I think it's like a 7 game series.
Yeah, I can't
And depending
see
how Georgiev plays, like
I can't see this one being close either, or sorry, not close.
yeah.
Like it's gotta go 6 or 7.
Hmm. All right, moving on to
That's
the
tonight.
East. We have, well, both series have had game 1 completed, and game 2 of the Hurricanes Rangers is going on right now. I guess we can start with that one. Game 1, Rangers win. I think Rangers are the favorites, but the Hurricanes are also
Really good.
obviously a really good team. So I could see this one going either way as well.
Yeah, Rangers won 4-3, so it was a close one. They scored 2 power play goals. I don't think that Canes scored any, maybe one, and I think they had more power play opportunities as well. Um, so, if you're the Rangers, you're the home team. Like getting that early close win, I think is big. Um, it was funny. I was trying to like think about which games like in the series have the most importance. I feel like the way you can maybe figure that out is just like the percentage of teams that win the series if they win that game. But
Well,
obviously,
I was seeing the
7 is
stat
the
last
most.
night. Game one, the winner of game one wins 68% of the time in the
Hmm.
series.
I did see that too. So that's already. I mean,
Yeah, the winner of game
that's
seven,
big.
did you know, wins 100% of the time? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's the one you want to win for sure.
Yeah.
If there's any game in the series you're gonna win, you better make it that one. Um, I feel. I think it's probably game two. I think game two is the least important, probably.
What if you go up 2-0?
But game three, if you lose game three, suddenly the other team's like, I've got momentum,
2-1, yeah.
and like I've got a chance to tie this thing up.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing about if you win the first two at home and you lose the next two away,
Yeah,
but it's like if you then go 3-1 after 4 games, it's like, well, you still won on the road, and then you can push to game seven because you can't close out a series like the
Y-
Bruins.
yeah, exactly. Just to make everybody's heart stop.
Hmm.
Oh, it's like, oh man, and it's so fun to watch a game seven when you don't have any skin in the game though.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. I felt like the Dallas Knights one was kind of boring, which is funny because you didn't get to watch that one, but I watched it.
yeah, I didn't see it, and I didn't put myself through watching the recap. I didn't watch anything on it, and maybe I should have just as a member of the media, but
I
I couldn't do it. I was like,
gotta say, like the
be
Dallas
tough.
crowd was loud. Like they were into it. Like there were times where I thought Vegas scored because how loud the cheering was. But they were just cheering on Ottinger's save.
Mm, yeah, yeah, he must have had a good game.
Yeah. Well, going back to the Rangers series,
Yeah, Rangers.
who who do you have winning that one?
I got Rangers squeaking it out,
Yeah, yeah, I think it's another close series. I think the
which
Rangers win. I
could
feel like
be
a lot of
tough.
people, or maybe not a lot, but like a good amount of people are having the Hurricanes, picking the
Yeah.
Hurricanes. So,
Yeah,
but again, it's gonna be close.
I saw some one of the stats guys did a poll, maybe it was Jay Fresh, did a poll of the fans, and I think the majority, it was like 68% or something, picked the Canes in that series. Which I did think was a little surprising, to be honest. Um Rangers were the higher seeded team. I thought they had a more dominant series against the Capitals than the Canes did against the Islanders, and I thought that obviously they were the President's Trophy winning team too, so like
Yeah, that
you
doesn't
kind
mean
of expect them to
anything.
go on. Right. Well, yeah. Apparently not.
But yeah, according to Money Puck, the Rangers have the highest chance to make the third round. Again, this is skewed because they're up 1-0,
Mm-hmm.
right? But they have a 67% chance. The Bruins have a 64.4% chance after winning game one, which we'll get to, or I guess we already kind of covered.
Yeah. Well.
Um, and then Edmonton has a 52.1% chance, and Colorado has a 50.6%
Wow.
chance.
Slim.
That one's a coin toss, according to Money Puck.
That is close. Yeah, I think it'll be tough for the Hurricanes and Hurricanes fans to have to lose like play the Rangers and then lose, like that would be like it just seems like every year they felt like a really good pick to win it. Like this year was no different. They made it to two straight conference finals. Um, so yeah, it would be tough one to swallow for sure.
Well, I remember when the Bruins played the Hurricanes in round one, it was a series where only the home teams won. Like I just remember the Hurricanes
Oh
being
yeah.
really good at home with their matchups. You get last change, obviously. So if the Hurricanes, they're up 2-1 right now, go in the second period, like early in the second period. So if they can win this game, steal one on the road, and then if they're just as good at home, I don't know what the record was in the first round at home, but I mean that definitely gives them hope. Like if it's 1-1 going back to Carolina, I think that Carolina might become the favorites, honestly.
Good. Yeah, they were perfect at home in the first round.
Well, I
So
guess they only lost one game, right?
yeah, they only lost game 4.
Uh, To
So
not to spite Zane, but they didn't have the toughest of matchups.
womp womp. Yeah, well, it was like actually that series was pretty close, like at least
I mean,
score wise.
the Rangers didn't have a tough matchup either, so they're
No.
both now playing much tougher competition this round.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll know more once this game concludes, but it should still be an interesting series. Like I don't think any of these series are going to be boring by any means. They usually aren't as you get deeper and deeper. So looking forward
I
to it.
think Edmonton to Vancouver might be boring.
Yeah, two Canadian rivals going at it. The Twitter
It'd
like has
be
already been a frenzy. It's been
yeah,
crazy, and the games haven't even been played yet.
yeah. They have to keep waiting. Well, Edmonton's been off like a week by the time the first game starts.
Yeah, yeah. The fans are getting restless.
Yeah.
Like I want to punch these guys' throats in right now. Oh man, should be fun.
And then for Boston, Florida, well, I guess you're not really you're leaning towards Boston obviously, but after Boston being up 1-0, do you have predictions for who comes out of this round? You think it's still Florida?
Oh man, the way
I
that
still think it's Florida because I'm not getting my hopes up.
yeah,
I
I
don't
know.
care.
Like the way that
I'm just hanging
Boston,
out, like I said, enjoying second round hockey
because that's all
because
you can do.
I don't have like this is the expectations. I wanted to win the first round. After that, whatever happens, happens.
Man, the way that they played in that game 1, I was like, am I believing? Like, is this belief? Am I
Yeah,
just like clinging on to the
don't give me
Bruins
hope.
because my Golden Knights are out? Like, am I just like, yes, no, this is the team, the one I've always been cheering for. Yeah,
Yeah,
like I don't know. This Florida team is so talented. They're so good. I
and
oh
Bennett was out game one. He should be back game two.
yeah, I did see that. I mean, he it'll be a factor for sure. More experienced than some of the other guys, but you know what? If you're going with Florida just for the sake of it, I will cling on to hope for the Boston Bruins. Come on,
I
do it
mean,
for
if
Jack.
if Swayman can get a 975 every night, we can probably win this series.
That will help a lot.
He's an incredible. It's crazy. Like at this point, the discussion's over. Like, do we go to Omar? No, we just go to Swayman till we
Allmark?
lose.
Who's that?
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, and that'll be a whole off-season discussion too. With Olmark is probably gone. Swayman has arbitration rights again. We only signed him for 1 year after last arbitration, so he's probably getting paid,
Yeah, yeah.
term and money.
Which means probably no more Allmark.
Yeah,
Maybe he goes to the
Brandon
Kings.
Bussey, welcome to the show.
But let's curb that until the Bruins are done or the season's done. For
Once they win the
now,
cup. Yep.
yeah. For now, we're just excited that they're still alive, and
And Toronto's not.
yes,
Do you want to talk about their off-season and management and media and whatever else?
I would love to. I would love to.
Where to
Tough,
start?
tough blow, obviously for them. The Steve Dangle video was incredible, and it was really like the most cathartic I feel like I've seen him in a while. He just like, dude, it's time to make a major change. Like we've been going through this song and dance for 8 years now where we just got to tweak a couple of things here
I think
and
they should
run it back and we can do it, and then they don't do it and they try again. So a lot of people are expecting a major shakeup. Obviously, the whole thing with them every year over the last couple of years has been core four. Somebody's got to go, and it's tough to imagine anybody but Marner going, and even Marner has the full no move clause, which this has already been talked to death a bit because it's Toronto media, but it would kind of just be like, where would he realistically see himself going, and with Toronto not getting the full return from him for him because of that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Marner like stuck it out to get the most money for his contract, so the Leafs could do the same thing. The organization just like play hardball and be like, well, like either like you waive your no move or you just like have fun playing like fourth line minutes, I guess. So
Yeah, but it's like how can you as a team trot out a fourth line $11 million player?
right, or I mean, I guess buy out, but like that's a whole thing too.
Ooh.
I don't know. I think you have the discussion with him and be like, hey, like listen, we gotta move you, and if he doesn't want to, I don't know what you do, honestly. Like that's tough. Hopefully, because like I think Marner's gone and Tavares is probably gone.
I don't see how they can move on from Tavares. Like
Well,
how would
what you
it?
do is you keep the like you. I don't know if you buy out or how it works, but like you basically you pay the signing bonus, and then his contract's a lot lower,
Oh yeah,
and then someone might want to actually take him.
yeah. I did see something about that. Like we probably won't expect anything on this, on like concrete on this until July when the bonuses are paid because they'll be a lot more attractive.
Yeah. But yeah, with Marner, I don't know what you do, but I think they find a way to move him. But I think Nylander and Matthews obviously stays. Um, if he doesn't, I win my $10 bet.
Yeah,
And Nylander, I mean, he
I'm not
played great in the
nervous.
playoffs, so I think he stays. But um, Keith is gone.
Gone.
Do you see? Do you see his quote where it's like, when teams play the Leafs, they set up the game for the Leafs to beat themselves?
Yeah,
Like oof, and he's referring to them as the Leafs, like he's like not a part of them. He's like,
I
yeah,
know. Yeah.
the Leafs. But the
Like.
tough part is like his contract extension kicks in next year for two
Mm-hmm.
years. But like, I mean, they have so much money, they're like,
Yeah.
whatever. Um,
Yeah, I'm sure
I
MSLE,
think
if they like want him gone, he's gone. It's like that sucks, but they like the fans will absolutely be livid if like obviously they'll still root for the Leafs because they're nutcases, but um yeah, it would not be a good look, I don't think, if they try him out again. He had a
yeah,
like a pretty honest press conference on the locker clean out day where he clarified a couple things about that statement. I watched Steve Dangle had actually a pretty good video responding to like just the media day that the Leafs had. I thought his video was pretty good, so check that out if you haven't. But yeah, I think Keith took a lot of responsibility, um, and I think he still wants to be here, just like because he knows what it would mean to the city and what it would mean to him after working so hard at it to get it right. But it sounds like he kind of knows it's not really up to him.
yeah. And the other question is Brendan Shanahan as the president, because he's been there basically
10
for
years.
all the turmoil. Like he's been there basically a decade. So I'm trying to see April 11th, 2014.
Yeah.
So not they he wasn't there for the 4-1 lead in the third period collapse against the Bruins in 2013, but after that, and they had three other game 7 losses, I think,
Mm-hmm.
against the Bruins.
Yeah, just against the
So
Bruins.
like
Like,
just
and
against the
that's
Bruins,
not it.
yeah. And then they had the whole thing against the Habs in the bubble where they blew that
Habs.
lead.
Yeah, Habs.
Um,
They lost to the
they
Lightning
lost
in
the play-in
7.
round against Columbus,
Yep.
right? So
Yep.
like I think people were talking about. Well, I think Dangle mentioned it too. That after the loss to the Habs, that's when, like in hindsight, they should have blown it up then.
Mm-hmm.
But he's been around for all of that, so there's questions about whether he stays or not. But yeah, lots of questions. I think yesterday or maybe it's today was the player media meeting, and then Thursdays with management. And I think
I heard they
normally,
moved it to Friday,
okay,
which
normally they do it like
people were
either
like,
together
Friday's
or
the biggest
closer.
day for firing people, like for announcing people are fired.
Yeah, so definitely having them split up like that says something, says a lot about their intentions.
They also
So
didn't say that Keefe was gonna be available for media, like on Friday. I don't think. They did say Shanahan was gonna be there. I'm pretty sure. So maybe that means he's still there, but
I know Marner and Riley also. I think it's Riley weren't available after Game 7. Like we're not talking to the
mm,
media.
they were there for the the locker clean out day, but
Yeah, but not like post game.
yeah, not post game.
Yeah, Friday will be a big day for Toronto.
Yeah, I've heard like rumors that MSLE is like considering eliminating the president of hockey operations like title and kind of just like elevating um, tree living, kind of like they did with like how Dubas is the president of hockey ops and the GM in Pittsburgh, something similar to that. And maybe they'll hire a new coach. Berube has been probably the one on the top of the list as far as potential candidates. We'll see if anything comes to fruition on that front. But I feel like maybe he could be a good pick, but it's like so tough to tell at this stage when it's like I don't know what this group needs, but it needs something.
Well, they need more scoring, but apparently paying 40 million for scoring isn't working. So I don't know what they do.
That's the craziest part, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. It'll be a fascinating off season. I just can't wait to see what they do or what they don't do.
Run it back.
Come on, this is it. One more trip around the sun.
Because we made the Game 7, we played well, we were one bounce away from going to the second round. But it's like, but you've said that for the last decade. Like something's got to change.
And it's not it's not like they've been close to winning the Stanley Cup, which is the goal. It's
right.
They've been struggling to make it out of the first round. That is not enough. That is not even close to enough.
The comparison where it's like, well, Tom Wilson can have like a questionable hit, but it's like since it's Tom Wilson, they're gonna call it a penalty. It's like you don't get the benefit of the doubt. And the same with Toronto. It's like you can have a close series and you can go to Game 7, you can just barely lose, but like because of the history, like you've lost Game 7s every year. It seems it's like you don't get the benefit of the doubt anymore. It's like it's over. You gotta change something.
Yeah, I completely agree with it. I thought that they were going to try to do something like that last year. Even though they did win the round, they still made big changes. Still, Dubas was still fired, and they still, had to shed assets. But yeah, they continue to amaze. It's very it's great as a Leafs hater though, of course.
Yes.
It was great.
Good stuff. All the Maple Leaf Square videos were very satisfying.
I feel like I didn't see any from this year, like when they lost. I saw a clip
Jesse
going
from
around.
TSN. What's his last name? I forget. Jesse,
Who?
whatever.
Bob McKenzie.
Jesse, far down. Jesse TSN.
Oh, Jesse Pollock.
Yeah, he was talking about how like after the overtime goal, they basically shut off the screens and it was just like silence at Maple Leaf Square. So it's like I don't know if that was to help quell any like unrest, but Maybe. It was like a complete silence, and then they were like, That there's like a fight broke out and
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I remember because I saw a clip going around, but I knew it was just a recycled clip. I think from a couple of years ago, because it would like I distinctly remember like hearing somebody going, "Ah, well, like series is over," like something like that. He said like somebody says that clearly on the clip, and I'm like, yeah, I know, I've seen this one before, because there's a lot of clips to choose from for that.
yep.
Um,
Yeah.
but I don't know if I saw anything from this year, but yeah, it's all right. I mean, we know what it was. They were devastated, of course.
Yes. All right, you got anything else on Toronto?
You know what? I think that's good for now.
Okay.
We'll have more
Well,
next week probably. We're recording on Tuesday, so that just happened prior to this. We did record our reaction. We did. Obviously, we can't show you the footage from the actual event, but for this type of thing, it's not really that necessary. So I don't know. Do we want to just throw it in right now, or do we want to talk about the results? And
we can do it now. So here's us reacting to who got the first overall pick. St. Louis at the bottom with 0.5%. Please no.
yeah, I mean
Penguins would be hilarious at
they can't win
1.5.
first overall, so.
Wait, this says win the lottery.
Yeah, but winning the lot, you can only win first overall if like you can only move up 11 spots. So the
Okay.
the
So who's
teams
the
the teams at 12 through 16 can't get first overall, but they can win the lottery.
Okay. So the Sabres are the lowest team that can get first overall.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sabres, I'd be happy with. Devils, whatever. Flames, whatever. Kraken, whatever. Sens, no. Sorry, Owen. Utah would be funny because everyone would be like, league's rigged. They paid 1.2 billion and they got a first overall pick. Like Bettman gave it to them.
Yeah.
Canadians, obviously no. Blue Jackets, I don't care. That would kind of suck for Celebrini, but
I don't know about
Ducks I'm
that.
fine with. Blackhawks, obviously no, and Sharks I'm fine with, which I know you're not.
Yeah. Um yeah, Sabres I'd be happy with. Devils seems like that's a lot of lottery wins in a row. Well, not in a row, but in short time frame for them. Kraken, I wouldn't be too happy as a Pacific division rival, but it would be kind of cool, I guess. Who's next? I don't have the list in front of me.
Hold on. Celebrini's talking about who he watched growing up, and I feel like he's gonna be like, I grew up watching Mitch Marner.
Yeah. My favorite player growing up was Jason Robertson. It's like, what?
Do you want me to give you the list?
Yeah.
All right, so Sharks. Well, let's go down from the top to bottom. So
No
Sharks,
Sharks.
you're against,
Yeah.
obviously.
Blackhawks,
Vegas
I'm
team.
also against heavily.
Everyone hates Blackhawks. Yep.
Yeah.
Ducks.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Blue Jackets.
That's a green light.
Canadians.
No.
Utah.
For the chaos, I'm okay with it. I would be kind of upset, as like for the Arizona fans, like, oh man, that's gotta bite. But for the chaos, I think I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, we're on the same page there. Sanders.
I don't know. They need a win. I feel like they need a win. They need something.
Yeah.
That's fine.
You already mentioned the Kraken. Flames.
Flames, take it or leave it. They're
Okay.
division rival too, but I don't know. I think it would be okay, and it would be fun to like have Celebrini in the conference, just or like in the division, so I can watch him like on a semi-regular basis. But also, that means playing against him often. So
Yeah.
And again, I assume Celebrini is the consensus first overall.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Youngest
think
player to receive the Hobie Baker Award.
that's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know if I can see anybody else going.
The most recent mock draft calls him franchise altering.
Oh, that's
I
good.
mean, I don't think he's Bedard level,
I don't think the
but
projections are
he's
there.
still like the
Yeah.
number one. And then we have the Devils, 3.5%.
Yeah, Devils.
Do it for Chandler.
I wouldn't be like pissed, but I wouldn't be very happy either.
And then you already mentioned the Sabres. They're at the lowest 3%.
Yeah, give them something. I mean,
Yeah, they need it.
So then the rest of the teams are not eligible for first overall, but they can still win the lottery, so they can move up max 11 spots. So
Right. So that
Flyers,
would be
like
the Flyers.
I wouldn't be happy if the Flyers won the lottery.
Yeah, Flyers, Wild, Penguins, Red Wings, Blues. Wild, whatever. Penguins, whatever, I guess. I don't know. Red Wings, also whatever. Blues, gross.
Blues, gross. Yeah, that would be something. It really accelerate their rebuild, I guess. I mean, they wouldn't get first overall. They would get fifth overall. But that's usually going to be a much better player than who you're getting at 16. So Detroit, I'm like, I would prefer not. Penguins probably same boat. I'd be okay with the Wild just because they've struggled to get top talent, top picks for a long time now. So that's fine.
All right, it's time to listen to Gary Bettman.
I don't have the sound on, so I'm just gonna let you be my ears. Oh, the ice.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what they
because no one's gonna see
what they
anything.
can do. The puck shattering through the ice. 28th and 29th of June.
Wow, how cool would it be to have the Vegas game broadcast on the outside of the Sphere for people to watch?
Yeah.
Like they have the watch party like Maple Leaf Square, but just watching it on the Sphere.
On the Sphere. 2 drawings for 16 teams that did not make playoffs. Teams can only move up a max of 10 spots, not 11. So my apologies there. Team in 12-16 range wins. First pick will remain with the Sharks.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that's why San Jose is 25.5, because the lower percents add up to that.
Cannot win more than twice in a 5-year
mine's
period.
buffering. That's gonna get me even further behind.
Oh, great. I don't know if mine is or not, but now it looks like it's okay. Oh. We'll see. There's Bill Daly. Commish.
I'm gonna refresh.
Number 16 is in. Sorry, Justin.
No, it won't even load.
Oh,
What
great.
the heck?
Of course, this is when everybody's actually tuning in.
Yeah, just too much bandwidth, not enough bandwidth, whatever.
Right.
HG Sports working.
That's good.
I don't know where you're at, but 15 overall.
I'm
in
at
the NHL draft.
Mike Greer right now.
Red Wings.
Okay.
Ahead of you?
So I'm a little ahead.
Okay.
I guess I can
Very
probably,
standard so far.
I can pause for a second here. Let me know when they just announced the 13th pick.
Oh, can you actually pause and read? I think it's gonna just put you back to live.
We'll see.
Okay. Yeah, Vodcast was the fastest.
Oops.
13th selection in the 2024 NHL draft belongs to Minnesota Wild.
Okay, yeah. So it didn't work. It did bring me back to live. So
Yeah. Well, I have time before we get to 1, so let me go back to Vodcast.
they're talking to
think podcast
Celebrini
is
right
like-
now.
Broke. All right, I'm at. Here we go. 11.
Okay. Yep.
Buffalo. And it's buffering again.
Damn,
It's like
Buffalo.
buffers for like half a second, so it's still better.
Now you're slightly ahead of me.
Oh, it's gonna keep buffering, so
Yeah, all right. 10.
very standard.
Yep.
All right, that was like a 1 second buffer, so you're gonna slowly catch back up.
Here we go.
Why are we now talking about Cole Eiserman?
Yeah,
Just keep going.
Yeah, let's rep through. Repper, bud.
An even better Cole.
Cole Caulfield. Bill Kessel.
Exciting stuff happening here.
Number 8.
But let's go the whole way. It's
Seattle.
just the exact order.
Yeah.
I wonder what the last time like no one's moved.
Yeah, good question. Oh, sorry, Owen. Womp womp. Not this year.
Oh,
Utah time? Potentially? Yeah, okay.
well, last year what? Chicago was 3, I think they said, and they
Yeah.
moved up to 1.
No chaos for Utah.
I mean, I think if the probabilities get higher, it's more like they shift.
Yeah. Dean lucks out. No Montreal #1 overall for him. I guess I lucked out too. I don't want it either.
Medicine Hat.
That must be a place in Western Canada. Is that TJ Aginla?
Oh yeah. People were saying they felt so old. Aginla's son is getting drafted.
Oh no. Oh, now it's not nobody left that I want to win it is gonna win
Not
it.
Chicago, not Chicago. Imagine.
I think ideally I'm looking for out of these
Sharks.
three.
I think Sobrin's like originally from California or something.
I think probably Sharks, I guess. I don't know. Ducks I'd be like, whatever, but
Oh man, that would be chaos too if Chicago wins 2 years in a row. Celebrini and Bedard on the same team.
not good.
They're both centers, right? So it'd be a first and second line
Yeah.
for like the next 15 years.
Please. Come on. Come on. Don't do it.
Well, the Sharks need someone to replace Hurdle.
What about Will Smith? Isn't he a center too?
Maybe.
Oh, now it's buffering.
Pretty cool, right?
He's like, yeah, it's sure, yeah. This is our year. I hope so. It was not their year. Stupid Sharks. Oh well, still won the cup before them. And they had like 20 plus years of head start. That's huge.
I'd say
money.
5% APY is not huge, but not in this economy. You can get 6 easy.
Oh. Robin Hood, get gold.
I've never seen like any of these commercials.
I haven't
they don't
seen
show
this
these
one.
on ESPN or Xfinity.
No, it's just what a pro wants, what a pro needs.
The stupid goal horn one I was telling you about happens every commercial break.
That's a big one too. Whatever makes me happy sets me free. Gifford said he doesn't mind that one because it's his players on the Thunder that are featured in that one, so he's like, whatever.
In which one?
The What a Pro Wants, they're Oklahoma City Thunder players. So. Oh, there's Bill. Okay.
There's a chance this goes perfectly in order.
Oh no, no, no,
Don't do it,
no.
Chicago. Kyle Davidson's
Kyle,
laughing.
he's like, I know what's gonna happen.
He's like, I talked to Gary yesterday.
Yeah, we're all good. Oh no, what's it?
Oh, good.
Oh, okay.
What a
I
relief.
mean, yeah, okay.
That's crazy. The whole list, no changes.
They're partying in Anaheim. Why are they partying in Anaheim? They should be partying in San Jose. Yep.
No movement.
No movement. San Jose, first overall odds, the best, and
Good for
they
them.
win. Yeah, you know what? It's fine.
They need it.
It's fine. I didn't want it, obviously, over other ones, but yeah, I do think they're much more deserving than some of the other teams that were on the list.
First time drafting first overall.
It's 3 times. Patrick Marleau.
Hat
pretty good.
balloon.
Well, I'm glad that I didn't melt down when I saw the Chicago Blackhawks logo get revealed. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Now, what does Mike have to say? He's like, yeah, I don't know who we're gonna pick. I haven't even really looked into it yet.
I think we'll take a goalie first overall.
There you go. Yeah, happens. Hasn't been done in a while, but Marc-Andre
Well, I remember
Fleury.
Askarov getting picked in the first round, like pretty early, because he was like the whole talk in that draft. Like this goalie is super good, and like now finally he's being talked about as taking over after Saros is done or moves on or whatever from
Yep.
the Predators.
Wow, that was interesting, wasn't it, Dean?
Pretty neat.
So, first time since 2010, the order does not change for the draft. Congratulations to the San Jose Sharks on their first ever draft lottery win. Well, first overall pick. I don't think they've
Very
ever won the
unexciting.
lottery. Yeah, I mean, it was like interesting in that you always expect it to slightly change, but yeah, the draft order not changing whatsoever. Dean, you want to just rip through the order?
Sure. So going from the first pick to the 16th, we have the Sharks, the Blackhawks, the Ducks, Blue Jackets, Canadians, Utah, whatever they're going to be, Senators, Kraken, Flames, Devils, Sabres, Flyers, Wild, Sharks again, which they got from Pittsburgh, Red Wings, and the Blues. So we were both obviously happy to not see the Blackhawks get the first overall pick. It was
Yeah.
a little scary at the end there.
Ooh, boy, they made it close.
But yeah, I said before we figured it out who was gonna win that I liked the Sharks as getting the first overall. Like I had no issues with that. No rivalries like some people here have. But
Some
and
people.
they're such a bad team. They were so bad this year. They could use all the help they can get.
Nico Sturm's on that team, so I got slightly bigger soft spot for them than I used to.
Yeah.
Yeah, congrats to the San Jose Sharks. Screw you, Blackhawks. Of course, they still get the second overall pick, so it's not like they're, doing all that poorly for themselves. Draft capital wise, of course. They still had a terrible year. But, yeah, so now we move on. One thing to note is that the Senators do have 24 hours to decide if they will use this pick to forfeit for the Dadonov penalty with the trade there. So they're drafting 7th overall this year. I feel like it's unlikely that this would be the one that they pick. Like you gotta hope that you're picking worse than 7th overall. Well, is it better or is it worse when you're talking about it in this context? If it
Right.
would be.
They hope that they will be a better team in the coming years. And
Yes.
their draft pick will be lower
Right.
than 7.
Yeah, I'm just like trying to think about it. What your constitute better is when you're talking about
Yeah.
the pick. Like obviously a higher pick is better, but it also means your team sucked. So I think they're gonna not choose this one and probably do what Owen said and just push it to 2026 and hope that they get forgiveness from the league. It would be so tough to imagine them being in a worse position than they are now in 2 years. Like, could they really be so much worse in 2 years than they are right now, based on the trajectory of the team and where they're at? It's tough to know for sure, isn't it? And they've had some bad luck, no doubt about that.
Yeah. Yeah, we will
It's
see
not the
on that.
Sabres.
But like you said, I don't think they're gonna be like, yeah, we're just gonna support for the 7th overall pick.
I think the fans would kind of question that.
In other news, we know our PWHL playoff bracket. The 4 teams making it are Toronto, Montreal, Boston, and Minnesota. Toronto got the first seed, so they'll be playing the 4th seeded Minnesota, and Montreal, the 2nd seed, will be playing Boston, the 3rd seed. And Boston ended up clinching, actually playing against Montreal. They won 4-3 and scored with 80 seconds left to clinch their spot.
Huge.
And they also have scored the fewest goals in the league with 50.
Wow.
And their leading goal scorer has 4 goals and a team best 16 points.
And it was a 24 game season for everybody. So 50 goals in 24 games.
Not too many.
Oh, worrisome.
But who doesn't love a Boston-Montreal matchup?
Yeah, right. I mean, it would have either been that or a Toronto and Boston matchup.
That's true.
Because they got to pick between Boston or Minnesota who they were going to play. So they did the uninteresting thing and picked the lower seeded team.
Yeah.
But hey, they had the choice, and that's their right. So playoffs start tomorrow.
Yeah, and with only 6 teams, I feel like Boston could have a lot of rivalries. Like Boston, New York could have been a rivalry.
Yep. Yeah, so the Ottawa PWHL team gets eliminated right at the end of the season. Oh, Owen. You had a rough go this year. I mean, the Sens didn't make it as close as PWHL Ottawa did. So that's gotta be some consolation, I guess. Like, they were so bad that they didn't make it close, but yeah. Sorry, buddy. Hopefully one of those teams next year does something for you. No guarantees.
That's what you get for choosing your teams based off which ones were the most mediocre at the time.
Yeah, right. Could have picked Minnesota if you wanted to have the one closest to you. Still not close at all, but technically, it's the closest. But yeah, I think they'll probably have a tough time going against Toronto. I think they had a 10-game win streak at some point in the season, and if you only have 24 games, I think that's a pretty good sign.
Decent.
But it'll be must watch for sure. I will be tuning in as able.
I assume the playoffs are also going to be on YouTube.
I think so. I haven't heard otherwise. So that I would be surprised if something changed there, because that probably would have a negative impact on the league as a whole. I think this is what obviously the inaugural year has been building up to, is seeing these teams play for the Walter Cup. So yeah, I think fans would not be happy with that. I don't think I'll be able to go to any of the games. I was thinking about it. I think probably the closest game would either be in Montreal or I think the Boston games are played at UMass Lowell. Maybe that one's a little bit closer, but that's still kind of a ways for me.
5 hours.
Yeah,
4 hours.
It might not be quite 5, but not a day trip. I guess,
Yeah.
or an enjoyable one, anyways. Yeah, let's see. Oh, it's around. Yeah, it's like 4 hours almost. Yeah.
Like get a hotel or just be very tired.
So I think the Montreal one might be a little bit closer, because I think they're playing at that in Bell Place or Place Bell. Yeah. Place Bell. So that one would be closer. Anywho, moot for Dean. No close options yet. You never know. I think we're a little ways out, but on that front.
Utah's gonna get a PWHL team too.
That would be something. Not really much Utah news, except so they did announce that they're planning on constructing a practice facility, so it'll have 2 NHL-sized ice surfaces, and they also hold the offices for the team. So that is scheduled to be ready to go prior to the 25-26 season. So not this coming season, but by the start of next year. So I don't know what they're gonna do for practice. I guess they'll just practice at Delta Center this year.
Yeah.
We'll see how all of that goes. And I think, did they say, was it 2 years was also the modification time frame for getting the obstructed views like corrected in Delta Center? Was that the same time frame that they gave?
I'm not sure, but that sounds right.
I think so. So yeah, these first couple of years will be pretty crucial for them. I mean, obviously I don't think the league would move them so soon,
Yeah.
But just as far as, building that fan base, which is also, it already sounds like they're going to have people showing up at every event that they've held so far, which has been pretty limited, but seems like it's been well attended, and obviously things are exciting with the roster and everything. So yeah, it'll be different. No branding information released for the draft lottery, which I don't think anybody was expecting. That would have been pretty shocking though, if they just when they revealed the odds or whatever, it just said like some random nickname and logo and colors. It's like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, we accidentally leaked the all the Utah stuff that they're doing.
That would have been fun.
Just the league just takes a crack at it. They're like, why don't we just draw something up for you?
Yeah.
And it's the team colors are black and white, just like the NHL logo, or black and silver. It's like, you guys are gonna be the Utah Shields, the Utah Bettmans.
Utah Queens in the same colors as the Kings.
Oh God, the Kings and Queens. That would be no go.
Do you want to talk about some of the award finalists?
Yeah, we've been breaking those down a little bit. Selke finalists: Austin Matthews, Sasha Barkov, and Jordan Stahl. I don't know. I don't know if there are really any big surprises. At first I didn't know if Stahl would still get it this year. But I can admit that I haven't seen a ton of his game this season, so if that's what the experts, thought as far as the top 3, I'm not really going to question it. Yeah, right. What is it?
Yeah,
It's
I don't know.
the
I didn't have
NHLPA, I think.
a good thought for a third either, so that was fine.
It would be pretty incredible to win the Selke the same year that you win the Rocket Richard.
Yeah. I mean, this is an interesting one because Barkov is. It's like everyone's been talking about him as the next person to win after Bergeron retires, and like he's been a finalist for many years, and it seems like the Selke Award is kind of one of those where it's like, yeah, you deserved it years ago, and now you're finally getting it. Not that he doesn't deserve it this year, but it's interesting with Matthews because he had it's the best. It's not the best defensive forward. It's the best 200-foot player, and like Matthews played great defense this year and scored 69 goals.
Yeah.
So it's like it's tough to compare those two, but I think Barkov is still going to get it. But it's crazy that you can have Matthews as a Selke finalist and the Rocket Richard winner and not be in the Hart finalists, which we'll get to. Like,
Yeah.
how do you be like one of the best defensive forwards and also score almost 70 goals and not be a Hart finalist?
It's
You're one of the best defensive forward, one of the best 200-foot centers, and the highest goal scorer in the league, but you're not an MVP on your team.
it's like, yeah, I guess the only thing you'd be looking for is more assists. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's Leafs fans that are upset that he wasn't nominated just based on that. But like we've mentioned previously, there were a lot of good choices this year for the Hart. So somebody was gonna get snubbed. With McDavid, McKinnon, and Kucherov the finalists, and none of those I don't think are very surprising.
Especially like Kucherov on his team was so far, in a way, the highest point getter. Like the next highest was, I don't even know. Because again, 100 assist season for him and McDavid, 144 points for Kucherov in 81 games. Lightning franchise record. Second most points by a player in the last 28 years. First in power play assists, first in power play points, and first in 3-point games with 8.
8. Wow. I don't know. I feel like it's going to go to McKinnon this year.
That's what it seems like.
That's just the way
It's based
it's
on
trending.
the chatter, I guess.
Yeah, right. I do think there's voter fatigue with McDavid. If it's unfair or not, I think it's still probably there. Just like, let's give it to somebody else. So I'd feel like he's probably despite having, still an incredible season and, 100 assists as well. There's nothing to scoff at, but I feel like he'd probably be the one I'd say would be least likely to get it, and then it would probably come down to McKinnon and Kucherov. I think McKinnon would just edge that out, maybe because
McKinnon also set career highs in his both his goals and assists. And the 6th player for the Avalanche / Nordiques to tally a 50-goal season.
It's pretty good. Plus Kucherov has won the Hart before. I don't think.
And McDavid, obviously.
Has. Yeah, and McDavid has too. I don't think McKinnon has.
McDavid only 132 points.
What is
Nothing.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, step it up.
Also, like we said, 100 assist season. But yeah, probably McKinnon.
We shall see. Let's move on. So I threw this on here, the Bill Masterton finalists. I don't know if that one really warrants much of a discussion. But it's Freddie Anderson, Connor Ingram, and Oliver Shillington.
Yeah, this just award in general is interesting because like one player from each team gets voted, and I heard talks about like they shouldn't even be finalists. They should just like pick someone because it's basically like best comeback story. So it's like, well, your suffering just wasn't as you didn't suffer as much as these other guys. So like it's kind of like I don't know. It's a weird award to give, but I think Anderson has this one. He came back like he was dealing with blood clots. We didn't know if he'd ever play again.
Yeah.
And again, I don't think this award should count playoffs, but like he's probably the best player. Like if you're just basing it off of skill on the ice, the best player of the three. Um, Oliver Killington had, I forget what was his story. He left the lineup in late January after more than a year, or came back to the lineup in late January after more than a year and a half away from the team to focus on his mental health. And then Ingram nearly retired due to an undiagnosed obsessive compulsive disorder and lingering depression before he sought help. It's like, I mean, all obviously good stories, but yeah, it's just hard to pick like one. It's like, well, your comeback story was better because
And yeah,
whatever.
you don't
Like,
want
it's
to
just a weird
diminish
award.
anybody's personal story, but that's what they do when they created the trophy. So
Mm,
yeah, I feel like
I think it's Freddie
Anderson.
Anderson.
I think it would be him. I don't, and I feel like maybe he played like a lot better once he came back into the lineup than he like had started, and maybe that was because of the clotting issue.
Mhm.
Um, but that's a factor. So yeah, I don't think that one would be much of a surprise, but you know, I'm sure. Um, Shillington and Ingram are happy to be nominated.
Yeah.
Close it out with the Jack Adams for head coach of the year. Is it specifically head coach, or can a non-head coach win?
I think it's just head coach, but also just looking up, also the Lady Bing nominees are out if you want to talk about
Those are
like
out
that.
too. Okay.
Well, we're talking about awards that aren't very
Yeah,
like
let's do
how do
that
you
one
vote?
first.
Okay, so we have Austin Matthews, Jacob Slavin, and Elias Pettersson as your nominees. Give Matthews this one; he's not going to get the other ones. But I feel like defensemen don't win it too often, so maybe give it to Slavin. I don't know. I don't really have any thoughts on this award. It's basically give it to the guy with the least penalty minutes is how it works.
Kinda. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I that's a toss up, honestly. Maybe we didn't really have a whole lot to say, but there you
Yeah,
go.
well, those are your finalists.
Yep, there's your finalists. Jack Adams. Okay. Uh, Andrew Brunette. Uh, Rick Bonus, and Rick Tockett. So this award over the last 3 or 4 years has definitely been the most improved award, essentially, which I'm not really surprised by any of these picks.
Well, 'cause
And,
they vote on the coach, where it's like we didn't expect these teams to be good, so since they're good, it must be good coaching.
yeah,
Like so, Winnipeg, obviously, no one expects them to be good. Um, they made the playoffs. Same with the Predators, like they had no expectations. And then Vancouver, maybe if you're Sandroni, thought they were gonna make the playoffs. Is that who had them?
yeah,
Um, but like, or maybe hopeful fans, but again, making it to the second round, I don't think many people had expected. So it's just teams that did better than expected. Um, I think Brunette would probably be my pick, but I could also see Bonus because also we haven't mentioned yet, but he's going to be retiring. So kind of like a send off award. Like
I know. I feel like
you're gonna such
that
a
would
good coach for
impact it.
so long. Like both Rick Bonus
38
and Rick Tocchet
seasons.
are just really good coaches. I feel like, so based off that alone, they're both good candidates. But then if you take into account the team playing better than expected, like I don't know, I guess Vancouver would have the edge there, but I would still give it the bonus.
Yeah, yeah, probably. Um, and I've heard that like the Jack Adams, or at least like getting the nomination, sometimes can put a little bit of a curse on you, because then like the team has more expectations than they maybe should if they overachieved, or if the coach performed really well, and then the next year if they fall off a little bit, it's like, oh, what the hell. and then suddenly it's like, oh well, maybe this coach isn't the right guy or whatever. And
And like this is one award where like coaches never win twice in a row because
no,
again, it's based off expectations. So if you win it, it's like, well, we expect you to do well next year, like you said. So it's more just a team that's not expected to do well that does. But if like Jim Montgomery, like he had another good year, but it's like he's not even in the conversation just because like again, we lost our top two centers and we still made it to the second round. Like you
yeah,
could argue that's good coaching, but nope, he won it last year, so it was expected to
yeah,
be a good season again.
yeah. I don't know if they'll ever like. Is it? Yeah, it's like what's the metric for the coaching other than playoff success or whatever? Unless it's like uh Bill Masterton crossover thing where it's like, Montgomery coming back from, alcoholism. Like if there was something like that was like part of the reason maybe, like in the future for somebody else. I don't know if they would weigh that, but yeah, I'd probably we haven't been very interesting with our changing our picks, but bonus is probably the number one in my eyes, and
I've been
probably
picking first.
Probably, yeah. Well, it's on me, sure. I'm not gonna just change what I think because of what you think, Dean. I'm a
Yeah.
free thinker. Well, sure, half, 50.
What is the free thought?
Yeah, yeah. Let's do a little philosophical segment here.
Yeah. Do we have free will?
Do we have Travis
Do the
Green
Toronto
on
Maple
head
Leafs
coach?
have free will, or are they definitely lose in the first round every
Yeah,
year?
yeah. They wish.
What does the universe have against the Maple Leafs?
I, I don't know, but they have been sad to watch for a long, long time. They haven't beaten the Bruins in a playoff series since somebody landed on the moon. Like,
Dwight D. Eisenhower,
yeah,
president.
Eisenhower. That's insanity.
Is that who it was? I forget. It might be someone else.
Pre Martin Luther King Jr. Having a dream, anyways. I think he was alive. But yeah. Anywho, some more coaching news. So Travis Green officially hired as the head coach of the Ottawa Senators. There were some rumblings about that yesterday, and then it was confirmed today. Owen wasn't able to make it today, but he did mention to us that he wasn't really going into it with huge expectations. I don't know if Green is really like a player's coach or anything. It seems like he's pretty like hard on these guys as far as drilling them in practice, like making them, push themselves to 100%. Excuse me. I don't know what's going on here. But no strong feelings yet. I think this is just one of those ones where you kind of have to trust in Anlauer and Steos's judgment for these player interviews, and sounded like Green was pretty interested in being there. Like he was the one out of all the interviews that was most interested in being the coach. So that's positive. It's like, he's not from the area either. He's actually from British Columbia, so he already did his old hometown stint with Vancouver and didn't really work out.
Yeah, the best they did was losing in the second round to Vegas in the 1920 season. And then he coached the Devils for a year, and they missed the playoffs. That was in the 23-24 year.
Yeah, he came on partway through as the head coach once Lindy Ruff was fired. He was the assistant at the time. So I think I said he had an 8-12-1 record as the head coach for the Devils. So not exactly inspiring. Like, this team still theoretically could have made a push to the playoffs at the end. So it's like maybe if he was the right voice there, but maybe that was just a New Jersey problem, and Ottawa will be different. Time will tell.
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of the things we discuss here, they're ever developing stories. That's why you watch the NHL, folks. The storylines, the goals, all that good stuff.
Hurricanes are up 3-2 after the second period. Alexis Lafreniere has his first 2 postseason goals.
That's big. You gotta get something out of him.
And Gensel has 2 goals tonight.
Little hat trick alert in the third period.
Mm-hmm.
We won't. I don't think we'll make it to the end of the game, but
Probably not.
you guys will know by the time this is out how this went. But there is some minor Hurricanes news, and that they have agreed to a 3-year deal with the Chicago Wolves to have them become their AHL affiliate, which the Wolves were their affiliate previously, and then they weren't. The Canes went without an AHL affiliate team this year, so things were a little squirrely with how they were calling up players. So I'm sure just for a stability standpoint, fans and management is happy that they have a new they went back to the Wolves.
Yeah. And how does that even work when you don't have an AHL team?
You know what? I didn't really like I was trying to follow it a little bit. I know that Kochetkov was playing. I think he played with Milwaukee for some of the season. I think some players did still play for the Wolves even though they weren't affiliated. But yeah, it was kind of spread out, and I think some players were a little upset with it. I think Kochetkov was one of them. It was like it was kind of a weird situation. So I'm sure everybody's pretty happy.
It's an article from earlier this year where Hurricanes prospects were playing. There were some still playing in the AHL. One player for the Avs affiliate, a couple for the St. Louis Blues affiliate, and then some, like you said, for the Wolves still. One for the Penguins affiliate, and then some in the ECHL, some playing in Finland, one playing in Germany, some playing in Russia. So like all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's nice to be alleviated, and I'm sure, I mean, Chicago's not like super close to Raleigh, but not all of the teams are like that. That have their affiliate super close.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the end of the world. Well, I don't really know if we have much of a follow up for that one to look forward to, but good for that. And I just wanted to quickly throw in there, since I've been following the ECHL playoffs a little bit. So the Adirondack Thunder made it to round 2, and they are down 2-0. They lost both home games to the Norfolk Admirals. So that's not looking good. They might not play another game in Cool Insuring Arena this season, because they've got 3 games in Norfolk now. So hopefully they come back. I don't think that they will, to be honest. I kind of thought that they were, I'm glad that they were able to beat Maine, but I just kind of thought that they were gonna be pressed to be able to make it past these guys. They lost 7-4 in game 1, which was a tight one. They had, I think they had a 4-3 lead at some point in that game too. So that's a heartbreaker. And then another not close game in game 2. I don't know what the score of that one was.
It's interesting that the ECHL does 7 games, but the AHL does 5. Well, they do. I don't know. They do 3 games in the first round, then 5, and it might go to 7. But
Oh yeah,
Providence
I
Bruins are
think
tied
that's what it is.
1-1. They're playing the Hartford Wolfpack.
Oh yeah. 5-2. Okay, that's what I thought it was, but I wasn't sure. 3 third period goals. That's never good. To let in, of course. So yeah, might be the end for them, but I'll keep pushing for them. I don't know when their next game is. It might be tomorrow, or maybe they're gonna wait for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because they did that last time. Is they had like a week gap so they could get the weekend draw again. I don't know who else is still left in the AHL playoffs. I haven't really been keeping up as much.
Well, still 2, 4, 6, 8, and 12. So 16 teams. How many were there to begin with?
Probably 16. So I guess nothing
Oh,
is.
this is the semifinals.
Nobody's been.
The
Or
first
maybe
round,
it's-
there it looks like there were less. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14.
Wow.
Maybe some have buys. I don't know.
Or like a play-in. Maybe
So
there's.
lots of teams left.
Maybe we don't know that much about the AHL playoffs. I think that's what we're gathering.
No, we
Is
don't know
that-
how many games per series
Wait.
after this.
We don't know anything. What the heck is going on? Okay.
I know the Province Bruins play tomorrow at 7, which is the same time as the real Bruins.
Yeah, that's gonna make it tough for anybody not in that building to watch that game, I think.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, you're just not gonna get that same draw. I was wondering if that was gonna happen with the PWHL games, if they were gonna be scheduled at like at the Boston games were gonna be at the same time as the Bruins games.
Also, the
was hoping
Thunder
not.
do play tomorrow at 7:05 p.m.
Oh, 7:05. Wow. Okay, so maybe I don't know if I'll check that out because it's like I'm just gonna want to watch the Bruins game.
Yeah.
I do enjoy watching the Thunder games, but watching them on TV is just not the same when I could be watching the NHL. Sorry, just the way it goes. You have the most money, you have the best teams, you get the most people to watch.
Yep.
Ah, well.
You got anything else?
Nah, I don't think so.
Okay.
Heading into the third period now in the
Yep.
Rangers game, so sorry we won't be able to get that one in for you, but
Well,
next time.
you'll know by the time we release this anyway.
Right.
Not news to you.
No.
The series could be over for all we know.
Yeah, I don't know when we'll be recording next. Owen expressed interest in coming on next week, so that'll be good. Because I was surprised that we haven't really been having any luck getting anyone to come on when this is the most interesting time of year, as far as the playoff or NHL is concerned. Maybe not for regular people. This is just.
Well, if your team's on the playoffs, it's less interesting, you could argue.
Yeah, well, true, but that's only Owen in our group
And
there.
Sam now. And Zane now.
True.
And Gifford now. And Brendan now.
Oh, Dean, the lone
And
survivor.
Forrest now.
Yeah, Dean's the only one in our group with a dog in the race.
Yay. Who would have thought?
It's lonely. Yeah, I wonder. I feel like I would have, because I had multiple of our teams moving on. I had Nashville moving on too,
I had Vegas moving on. That was the other one I had.
Yeah.
Oh, I was looking at. I think you're probably gonna win the tiebreaker best bracket, which I just didn't want Gifford because then I'd feel bad about giving up Pittsburgh on the waivers or not claiming Pittsburgh because that was the reason he tied me. I'm like, if Brendan wins, that's whatever. I mean, if I had gotten Pittsburgh, I still could have won, but like at least I didn't give away free points to you.
Right. Right.
So I'm rooting for you because I don't think I'm. I mean, I had Toronto winning my bracket,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Gifford had Vegas, so you're in good shape with the Rangers, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. And then, so what do I get for that again?
Money.
I love money.
I think you get
It's
like
not much, but
no, it's like $25 a person or something.
hello.
You buy a whole jersey for that.
Yeah, I bought the Sabres goat head jersey for like $115 on the Adidas website the other day. Jeff Skinner too, so that's a bonus. And I do have one of the 3 remaining reverse retros on the way right now from Edmonton. I won't. Well, actually, you can tell by the document because I updated it, so you wouldn't. For some reason, if you did buy one of them, you wouldn't accidentally
You get
buy
2.
it. Yeah. So I don't know. That one will probably take a little bit because it's coming from Alberta. I'd imagine it would maybe get here at the earliest the end of the week, if at the latest.
Well, there's only
probably
one on the
middle of next
list
week.
because there was one that we never found. There was none for sale.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Must be the wild one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Somebody posted that one on Reddit, and it is a size above the one that I normally wear, but I have a couple like that. And it's not too egregious, so the price was good enough where I felt that I should just pounce on it, and so
There's
thank
just the
you,
Avs and the Stars left,
Reddit
right?
user. Yep, Avs and Stars Reverse Retro 1.0s are all that remains between me and having a complete collection.
Send them to the P.O. box.
Yes, the P.O. box. Yeah. We don't have one of those, but we do have a new layout for the non-YouTube members, a new stream layout.
You can email jerseys to Brendan.
Email them, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'll take them in any form, even digital. We have the TikTok and the phone line now displayed on screen, so if there was any doubt where you could find that information, it's now even more blatantly obvious for you. But we do have that, once again, in the description, along with a gentle reminder to subscribe if you haven't done so. Maybe you thought you were, but for some reason you just never made the push. Today's the day. Please subscribe.
Yeah.
That's I think that's all we got. What do you say, Dean? Wrap her up.
Yeah, that's all I got. Looking
Alrighty.
forward to seeing what the Bruins do here.
Hopefully they're still alive next time.
Or they sweep and it's over.
Oh, well. They'd still be alive.
That's true. Yeah, fair enough. Hopefully they're on to the 3rd round.
They'd be alive waiting for the conclusion of the Rangers Hurricane series if it hasn't already ended. You know, things can move really fast here, folks.
That's the playoffs.
Yep. Alrighty, bye.
Yep.
I love if for one of these lotteries where the like they have the 3 guys left, pretty much they have their reactions, like whenever the guy, like one of the people loses, they should just like go, oh, like totally like just be, because you know they're always just like then, like if they lost they don't do anything. It would be so funny if one of them
They're
was
like,
just like,
I needed
no,
this. I needed
no, why? Come on, Gary. They're like, you know what? Let's just give it to him. He seems really broken up about it.
Yeah.